We begin today's wrestling news and rumors video with some very noteworthy news regarding John Cena, who, as many of you are likely aware, was announced by WWE to finally be returning on the June 27th episode of Monday Night Raw to celebrate his 20th anniversary in the company. Now, by all means, most fans are extremely excited to hear that John Cena's impending return will be happening soon, because while it could just be a one-off kind of comeback for Cena, where he celebrates his 20th anniversary and then leaves again, that reportedly is not the case, and John Cena will likely be a big factor heading into SummerSlam 2022 season, and for good reason. Like we have mentioned in previous videos, there were reports that Vince McMahon and WWE were considering a feud or rivalry between John Cena and the current United States Champion Theory for SummerSlam, and according to new backstage reports, that is still very much the plan WWE are thinking about moving ahead with, because it is almost a guarantee that Theory will be making his presence felt during John Cena's 20th anniversary celebration on Monday Night Raw later this month, and current backstage rumors indicate that this will lead to a huge match between Theory and John Cena, likely for the United States Championship at SummerSlam 2022. Now, without question, some fans are very excited for this rumored clash between John Cena and Theory, but let us know your thoughts firstly on John Cena's upcoming return to Raw, and do you feel like Theory is the best option for John Cena's return opponent, or do you feel WWE could do something bigger with Cena when he does return? Let us know. Now we have some potentially fantastic news regarding Randy Orton's status in WWE, and if the new rumors are true, then Randy Orton will be factoring in big time on Friday Night SmackDown going into SummerSlam 2022 season, which is certainly exciting to hear. While Randy Orton was basically pulled from WWE television a few weeks ago after back injuries became way too big of a problem for the Viper, thus forcing Riddle to begin a new tag team with Shinsuke Nakamura, there were quite a few fans who were not fully convinced by WWE's announcement of Randy Orton's injury, and that while Randy may be suffering from some back-related injuries to some extent, it was embellished by WWE, because of the fact that Randy Orton was simply going to be taking some time off from WWE, and needed a good reason or way to be written off of television. Now, if this is true, that would not be surprising in the slightest, because while it is certainly not far-fetched to imagine that Randy Orton could be dealing with some back problems right now, as this is an injury that Randy Orton has dealt with in the past, with Randy Orton working more of a part-time schedule with WWE for a few years now, Randy Orton takes some time off each year as part of his new current deal with WWE, so having Orton written off television with his back injury provided a great way for WWE to have Randy take a break from the ring. However, despite some rumors of an impending retirement for Randy Orton, or that he won't be able to return anytime soon, according to a new breaking backstage rumor, WWE could very well be working fans completely here, and that Randy Orton is actually on his way back to WWE very soon, and to seek revenge on the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns for SummerSlam 2022. Now, there were some rumors that WWE could have been booking a feud between Riddle and Roman Reigns this year, but one of our sources has mentioned that Vince McMahon feels a Randy Orton and Roman Reigns rivalry for the Undisputed Universal Title makes way more sense right now, and that eventually when RK-Bro splits up in the future, a feud between Randy Orton and Riddle could then begin, with the title likely to be on the line in that feud. With Roman Reigns now working a part-time contract for WWE moving forward, Vince McMahon has reportedly been scrambling to find a logical way for Roman to possibly lose his undisputed WWE Universal Championship, as the company feel the ratings and overall interest in both Raw and SmackDown has dwindled greatly with Roman being absent from the shows a majority of the time now, and that they need to have those championships returned back to television on a regular basis, and Randy Orton may very well be the superstar WWE plan to dethrone Roman Reigns. It has been speculated that despite the fact Roman Reigns is taking essentially 10 weeks off television this summer, there is unfortunately a good chance that Roman's schedule won't be getting any busier in WWE this fall, and that he may be gone for the majority of the remainder of 2022, which causes massive problems for WWE, hence the new rumored storyline plan. A new backstage rumor has revealed that Vince McMahon is considering to have Randy Orton return before SummerSlam 2022 on SmackDown and shock not only fans by recovering from the serious back injury in such a short amount of time, but completely surprising the tribal chief Roman Reigns and catching him off guard, with Randy Orton then setting his sights on the undisputed WWE Universal Championship for SummerSlam this year. And as shocking as it sounds, WWE are apparently legitimately considering having Randy Orton defeat Roman Reigns, likely with a bit of help from Riddle and Shinsuke Nakamura, with Randy Orton becoming the new undisputed WWE Universal Champion, and then afterwards Roman Reigns would once again leave WWE for a couple of months, seemingly retiring from WWE, only to return either later in 2022 or early next year in 2023, where it would be likely that Roman Reigns would get his hands on at least one of the World Championships again, likely the Universal title, going into WrestleMania 39 season for the rumored championship clash with The Rock. There is speculation that if Randy Orton does indeed win the undisputed WWE Universal title from Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, the championship would soon be split up after Randy Orton wins the titles, with Randy remaining the Universal Champion and the WWE Championship going back to Raw, with it likely that a Raw superstar would challenge Randy Orton for the WWE Championship and then win the belt for the brand again later on in 2022. Let us know your thoughts on Randy Orton's rumored return to WWE in the near future to begin a massive feud or rivalry with Roman Reigns for SummerSlam 2022, which in all likelihood will be Roman's only appearance in WWE for the rest of this year. And should Randy Orton be the superstar to put an end to Roman's title run? By all means, Randy does deserve another championship run, and we may just get that later on this summer according to these new backstage reports. Now, another main roster superstar has officially been moved from Monday Night Raw to NXT 2.0, and that said superstar is none other than the former United States and Intercontinental Champion Apollo Crews. On NXT 2.0 this week, Apollo Crews returned to the show and immediately set his sights on the current NXT champion Braun Breaker, with Apollo clearly going back to his original character and a babyface persona. While some fans feel that this could be a demotion for Apollo Crews, and that this essentially proves that Vince McMahon saw very little potential in Apollo on the main roster, in all honesty this is likely a great move for Apollo Crews, as he really now has a chance to reinvent himself in NXT 2.0 and get back on track, and this definitely has worked for other main roster superstars like Mandy Rose for example. So fans really should not look at this like it is some kind of a demotion for Apollo Crews, as he's clearly going to be featured heavily in the top storylines of NXT 2.0 moving forward, which is definitely very exciting news, and it will make things way more interesting moving forward.